Taking a live look right now in Tampa, Florida, the Sunshine Skyway over Tampa Bay as Tropical Storm Nicole comes ashore. We are hearing about tens of thousands of power outages reported there. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis just gave an update, but so far it does not appear to be a life-threatening situation. Governor DeSantis holding his first official news conference since his landslide re-election victory. Florida now appears to be solid red, due in part to new residents and Latino voters now leaning conservative. National correspondent Logan Raddick joining us now live on Capitol Hill with details on why Florida might not be a swing state anymore. Logan, good morning.
Emma, good morning. And that resounding victory for Governor Ron DeSantis included a win in Miami-Dade County. That is a county that went 30% higher for Hillary Clinton in 2016 than Donald Trump. But DeSantis won that county, and Republicans in Florida say it's largely in part due to policies. They've let the policies really take control of these races, and that's why they've been able to win, because they've been making cases that have really been effective with voters in terms of education, the economy, and other issues in Florida. Those positions have clearly been very successful for Republicans. But one of those policy positions that Republicans are touting in Florida is this new election integrity unit. So in Florida, the Office of Election Crimes and Security focuses on election integrity issues and strengthening cybersecurity. They're saying that the reason people are also coming out in part is because elections are basically decided within a day in Florida, unlike a lot of other states that we've been seeing, including Arizona in particular. But before any voting system is used in Florida, it undergoes rigorous testing and a review process by the Florida Department of State's Bureau of Voting System Certification. And Republicans say that the oversight of elections is one of those policies that has been popular with voters. But again, a lot of issues in terms of also people moving into Florida, getting away from some of these other states where we've seen crime and high taxes. That has been really crucial for the GOP in terms of making Florida a red state instead of a swing state. Back to you.
All right, Logan Raddick there at the Capitol with the latest there on Florida. Seemingly a red wave there. You could say tsunami there. Logan, thank you. With us now talking about Miami-Dade County. Fresh off his win is Kevin Marino Cabrera. He is the commissioner-elect for Miami-Dade County in Florida. Kevin, welcome. Congratulations on the big win.
Thank you.
There.
Thank you. Pleasure to join you.
Absolutely. We appreciate that. Tell me, what do you think helped propel you to win this election? I believe you had the endorsement of former President Donald Trump in this one. Talk to me about your campaign, but also your thoughts. What happened in Miami-Dade where, again, back in 2016, Hillary Clinton won 30% of the vote more than Donald Trump did? It would be a blue county, and it's not today.
So, first of all, I always like to thank the voters of District 6, because honestly, this win is theirs. It's a win for folks who are going to have an advocate for them, who's going to advocate for the residents, small businesses, and the senior citizens of our district at County Hall. Yes, I did have President Trump's support. I believe I am the first person ever endorsed at the county commission level by President Trump, and it was an honor to have his support as I was his state director here in Florida in 2020. And as he told me, you fought for me, now I'll fight for you. In terms of Miami-Dade County, as we've seen, Miami-Dade County has been shifting towards Republican for some time now. As you said, Hillary Clinton wins by 33%, and we narrowed that delta in 2020 to 8%. And now Governor DeSantis wins Miami-Dade County by 11%. And what you're seeing is, I come from a Cuban-American background. What you're seeing is that the folks that are moving here from all over the United States, from Latin America, particularly Hispanics, which are the largest growing group here in South Florida, are rejecting these policies of the left. They're rejecting these socialist policies. And they are moving to the Republican Party because what they want is an opportunity to succeed, which they didn't have in their countries. And that's why they're coming here, and that's what they're seeking.
I want to go to your opponent on the Miami-Dade County Commission. You're replacing longtime Commissioner Rebecca Souza, who must leave due to term limits there. I'll talk to you specifically here. What do you want to see in Miami-Dade? What do you think some of your top issues will be?
So, like I tell everybody, and like Tip O'Neill used to say, all politics is local. And one of the number one issues that I faced, that I heard from voters as I knocked on doors, having knocked on over 7,000 doors myself, was property taxes. They feel, particularly the senior citizens in our districts, they're retiring, they've lived in their home for decades, and they're having to move and sell their homes because they can't afford the increases that are coming year after year. So my goal is to find a way to make sure that we attempt to freeze property taxes for seniors, provide them some sort of relief for folks who are over 65 and have lived in their home for more than 30 years, to try to find a way to provide them some sort of relief. And in addition, making sure that we hold the line, because I think what we see is many times when government gets more money, they spend it. They're not very good at returning it to the people. And I think what we need to make sure is that we should be spending less and giving more back to the residents, because they know what best to do with their own money.
DeSantis, he won. Many cheered, said 2 more years. Are you expecting DeSantis to run for president? Is that something that you're wanting? Do you want to keep him there in Florida?
Well, I think that's a decision for the governor to make. I think he's been a great governor, and we obviously are very happy with him here in Florida, but that's a decision for him to make.
We'll leave it there. Congratulations to you, Kevin Marino Cabrera, winning his seat there. Commissioner
Thank you so much.
You got it.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth. No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.